Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today with a kitchen empties. I love to do these periodically because my diet kind of changes over time, and this is a good picture of what I'm doing right now. Before I get started, I will tell you I'm doing this in collaboration with my good friend Ellis for Living. I love Elle, and if you've been with me any amount of time, you know we like doing several kinds of videos together. After you watch this video, go over and see what's in Elle's kitchen, and our eating is pretty different right now. And I think that's great because it shows you that two people are really happy with what they're doing, and it's a little bit different. And not everything that works for me is going to work for you either, or that works for Elle is going to work for you. Everybody's different. And we all kind of have to find our own eating path. So anyway, I'll tell you in a nutshell, I'm doing keto, clean keto. And you'll see in my video, but I'm doing grain-free, gluten-free, dairy-free. Right now I'm egg-free. And so I'm telling you, I'm clean. It's pretty much meat and veggie and some cheats in here. So I am going to jump right into this and I will show you what I have gone through. Okay, the first thing I went through is this silk almond milk. This is 0 grams of sugar. It's unsweet. It is 30 calories. Okay, there for a while, I was only liking the coconut. And then one day I went to Starbucks and I got a latte and I got an almond. It was so creamy and so good. It made me start putting almond milk in my coffee, and then eventually I started just drinking it on its own. This is the closest thing to tasting like real milk that I have found. You know, it's a little creamier, a little bit thicker than coconut milk, and I really love this. I will just drink a cup of that. If it's not time for me to eat something, I'll just drink a cup of that and it'll sustain me to the next meal. Okay, next. Okay, I don't know how much produce I'm gonna have in here because it's hard to save produce, but I do have some. And the first one is romaine lettuce. Y'all, I'm obsessed with wraps. I always put dairy-free cream cheese on the bottom to make everything stick, and I'll put cucumbers and chicken and hamburger. It's about as good as a sandwich. It is just very satisfying. And I like mustard on it. Add mustard and I don't know, y'all. The wraps, I know that I'm really late to the wrap party, but I love the wraps. It's like having a sandwich, and I'll put sausage or turkey or chicken, hamburger, anything. Chicken salad, and then veggies with it. And it is so good. Okay, the next one, this is a love. I'm almost obsessed with this nut, and this is walnut halves. I think the reason I'm so taken with these is because for years, all I had was almonds. And then I was watching Thomas DeLauer, and he said that walnuts are great for really, really low carb. And I thought, okay, I'll try those. I keep these in the freezer, and I'll either grab a handful for a little snack, or I'll put them in a veggie and bake them in the oven. These are so good and good for you. And the fat holds you over. Good fats are good for our brains, good for our nervous system. So loving the walnuts. Try keeping those in the freezer. Okay, next I went through a Pacific Foods organic cream of mushroom. Okay, y'all, I started eating this because it's gluten-free. Even if I went back on gluten, I would keep buying this. It's a little bit pricey and harder to find. I still would stick with this. I use this on roast, and ever since I started using this on roast, my roast is as good as candy. It is so delicious. I buy prime chuck roast, add this in a can of water and salt and pepper. It is magic. It is so good. So if you do a cream of mushroom roast, try this. Instead of Campbell's, it is about twice the price and worth every penny. It's so good. Okay, next I went through chicken, and this is a chicken label, and I eat quite a bit of chicken. I keep chicken salad. I still do that. I've done that for years. I keep chicken salad made and in the fridge. And in here I have the mayonnaise I'm using now. And it's just a great protein snack. And I'll put down below how I do that. I just stew my chicken and then I put mayonnaise in it. And I can add whatever I want. If I'm wanting to add more fat, I'll add walnuts. If I'm wanting to add a little bit of carb, I'll add a little bit of berries. So I just do it naked chicken salad with mayonnaise. And it's delicious. And then I do a little bit of extra out of that package. I set a little bit aside. I'll have that in wraps, or I'll add it to some hamburger meat for some, just to add some different meat. So I eat quite a bit of chicken. Okay, I have the Simple Mills chocolate chip almond flour cookies. Now, I know I said I eat clean keto, and I do, except for one cheat meal a week. And I am shooting for low carb, like 30 to 40 carbs a day. Anything under 50 is considered keto, and I shoot for about 35. Well, I have figured out that if I have one cheat a week with whatever I want, cookies, gluten-free donut holes, Reese's Minis, whatever I want, the next day, it has not hurt me. It will knock me out of ketosis a little bit, but it doesn't really hurt me. So I wanted to include these in there and just tell you, if you are super low carb, a cheat meal is not hurting me. You might, try that if you want a little treat in your life. The Simple Mills are delicious. Now, I will tell you, I like the ones you have to make. They come in a box and you have to make them. Those are really, really good. But I got these in grocery delivery and they were good too. They're a little bit drier than a regular cookie. These are. Those that I made from the box were delicious. I don't think those are in here. Okay, next I went through some collard greens. Not just a little. I went through a lot of collard greens. I've been through a ton of kale, spinach, not as much spinach, but kale, collard greens, Swiss chard. And I will either do greens cooked in bacon fat or sometimes just Pam. And then I'll put a teaspoon or a tablespoon of dairy-free cream cheese, and then I'll have it with meat. So I get my greens either cooked like that, or I will do green drinks. And when I say green, I mean green. Just this, some water, and some cucumber is all I put in it. If I want some extra fat, I'll put half of an avocado or a tablespoon of peanut butter. But I go through a ton of greens. Okay, next, along the same lines with my greens, I went through a jumbo hefty bag. This is what I store my greens in. I brought one to show you. It's like that. And I rinse my greens off in water, purified water and vinegar, and then I wrap them in a paper towel and put them in here, and they will let them dry off and then put them in here. It will last and last about 2 weeks. I get a full 2 weeks out of my veggies like that. Okay, next I went through, along those same lines, vinegar. I fill a big metal bowl up with water, and then I put some splashes of vinegar in it. And that's supposed to, get insecticides off. I do organic, but I really don't trust that. Okay, these were mushrooms. I go through a lot of mushrooms. They are so good for you. A ton of vitamin D in those. I think it's in China. Over in Asia, they consider mushrooms medicinal. Ever since I heard that, I pile on the mushrooms. So usually every night, I'll get a full cup of mushrooms and put them in whatever I'm having. Cabbage or cauliflower. They're good with roast. So I always keep the mushrooms around. Okay, then I kept an avocado. I did good at saving my produce. And half of an avocado I saved here. And this is what I put pretty much exclusively in my green drinks. Meaning I don't use these many other places. I kind of wish I did, but I don't remember them, except when I'm making green drinks. And when I do a green drink with just greens, water, cucumber, and that, it lasts me all day. That is my day. That and my coffee in the morning will be my day until dinner, and it keeps me totally satisfied. And speaking of coffee, I have a decaf Folgers, and I mix this with regular for half calf. And then in my coffee, I put a teaspoon of Kerrygold grass-fed butter and a teaspoon of either coconut oil or MCT oil. And I put a teaspoon of each because that seems to be enough to really satisfy me all day long. I have 2 cups of coffee, So 2 teaspoons of grass-fed butter and 2 teaspoons of one of these, MCT or coconut. And that in a green smoothie is usually what I'm having all day long until my dinner at 6 o'clock on the dot. I'm ready for dinner, but it keeps me full all day and I'm loving that and feeling great. I feel so good and clear-headed and just good. Okay, the Kite Hill cream cheese, this is the star of my show. Yeah, this is the star of my diet. I use this on everything. I use this in my greens and it makes them like creamed, and it's 70 calories for 2 tablespoons and 2 carbs. It's just nothing. And it makes it so creamy. I put it in my greens. I put it with my meats. I put this on my wraps. All day long I use this. I get this at the health food store. It's dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, non-GMO, vegan, no artificial colors, flavors, and made from live culture and kosher. You can't beat this with a stick. I love it. Okay, I went through Boar's Head kosher dills. I don't often replace these because they are so expensive. It's like $6 something for this jar. And I like the Vlasic just as much. Or it's another brand, but I have those in here too, I think. I'll put right here my favorites because they're $2 something a jar. And I eat a ton of these because if you're on keto, going as low as I do, get your sodium. I counted up my sodium to be sure I was getting enough. And the only reason I'm getting enough sodium, even with an electrolyte, is because of pickles. And I'm adding a little bit of salt to my water during the day. Be sure you get enough sodium. Your body will be dumping water, which makes you look really nice, but you're dumping minerals and vitamins. So be sure you're getting your sodium. Count it. Start counting it and be sure you're getting it. I eat 3 pickles a night to get 600 milligrams of sodium because really all I eat is meat and vegetables and a little bit of fruit. I don't get sodium unless I'm adding it in. So 3 of these every day. Okay, this is my mayonnaise that I'm using on sometimes wraps, but usually the cream cheese. But sometimes I'll add a little bit of this, but in my chicken salad. Now I'll tell you, okay, this is Primal Kitchen Mayo. This is with avocado oil. And this is all, I'll list the ingredients right here. It's all organic. It is real good for you ingredients. The fat in this is avocado, not vegetable oil. It tastes a little bit like Miracle Whip. It's between Miracle Whip and mayonnaise. So it took a minute to get used to it. It's got a little bit of a tang to it. It's not Duke's or Hellman's. I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, no, no, I do not want to eat Miracle Whip. But if you like that tang, that is very good. Okay, I went through some blueberries. I rarely eat blueberries because these are too high carb for me, unless I want more carb, and sometimes I do. Blueberries are the higher carb of the berries. I pretty much stick to blackberries, strawberries, and raspberries, and I don't even do those every day. I get most of my carbs from vegetables, mushrooms, turnips, cabbage, radishes, things like that. Oh, I have another cream cheese. I went through about 10 of those. Okay, I went through a cheddar. And I wanted to show you this. I don't do much dairy because I'm trying to be mostly dairy-free, but I'm not real stringent about it, but pretty stringent. But what I use this for is sausage balls. The sausage balls need a moment of silence. You get Owen's sausage, just regular ground sausage, a cup of this, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, an egg, and a cup of almond flour is what I use in those. I keep those for a snack. I count them as 1 gram of carb per sausage ball, but probably 0 net carbs. And they're the best snack ever. I warm them up in the air fryer. Y'all, I can't even with these sausage balls. They're great for breakfast. They're great for a snack at night when you just have to have something, but you don't want any carbs. The sausage balls. Okay, I went through an organic, this is cabbage, and I keep red cabbage or purple cabbage and green cabbage. I keep it cut up in a Ziploc, in one of these big Ziplocs, so that I'm ready for it any night. I want to use that. I either pick usually from cabbage or cauliflower for a really good sulfur vitamin that are supposed to be detoxifying for us. They're nice and filling and low carb, 5 carbs per cup. But this I cook with the cream cheese. I'll put some sour cream. I put mushrooms, hamburger, usually some chicken. Sausage is good in that, of course. So I eat quite a bit of cabbage. It's really good. Pecan Halves. This is another new nut that I am loving. I keep these in the freezer, and I'll grab a handful of these or walnuts. I like the walnuts better because they're lower carb, but I will do the Pecan Halves if I'm wanting more carbs. Okay, I went through some fresh strawberries, a bunch of them. I keep strawberries in the fridge, strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. In case I just need that little bit of extra carb, I will just grab a little very carefully. It's very controlled, but I do love the strawberries. That is, I think, the least carbs in a fruit you can get. Okay, I went through a bacon. When you're making your wraps, fry up a little bacon and put on there for some extra protein, and this takes your wrap to the next level, no matter what you're having on it. Sausage, hamburger, chicken, whatever it is. Put some bacon on top of that, and it's really good. Okay, I went through a crab meat. Y'all, okay, I am glad I found this because I'd forgotten about it. Okay, on top of riced cauliflower, which I keep made up in my fridge all the time, I will put cauliflower, crab meat, sometimes mushrooms, and then I'll put a spicy mayonnaise. I'll put my Primal mayonnaise, and then I'll mix some gluten-free soy sauce with that. It makes a spicy mayonnaise that is delicious with any vegetable. I use it for any dip. I will put that recipe down below so you won't forget. Put that on top of this with the cauliflower. It is so good. It's the Crown Prince brand, and I love this. I love this. That's also good wrapped in seaweed. Okay, I'm tossing this Swerve Ultimate Sugar Replacement. If you're on keto, I know you've heard of erythritol. I'm not a fan of erythritol, y'all. I love the taste of it. This has a ton of carbs. 4 grams of carbs for a tablespoon. When you're on trying to stay between 30 and 40, that's a ton. And now I know the net carbs are low on this. I don't really care about the net carbs as much as I care about the total. You can eat 20 grams of carbs before you even know what hit you. This can also be hard on your digestive system. I'm trying to stay off any sweeteners. I don't eat them often. And if I do, I'll just try to do stevia, not really that much of a fan, or I'll do occasional Splenda. But I really try not to, y'all. Okay, then I went through a probiotics, and I've been trying to be better about my probiotics, and I'm feeling better than ever, y'all. Better than ever. This way of eating, it is working great for me. So anyway, that is all of my groceries. Y'all be sure and go over and visit Elle, see what she's got in her kitchen, and that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.